Chapter 3 Mansa Musa, the richest man in history. La la la, wait till I get my money right. Kanye West. Our journey now takes us further west on the continent to the great ancient powerhouse known as Mali. The boundaries of the Mali Empire spanned from the Atlantic coast to central parts of the Saharan desert. At its apex, the Empire of Mali was one of the largest empires in West African history. King Sundiata Keita, a legendary character of West Africa, was the founder of the Mali Empire in 1235 CE. The great king was born around 1217. His life was not easy growing up. He faced great adversity and exile. The young man would eventually return as a victorious prince set to reclaim his birthright. Sundiata united various Mandinka kingdoms against the Sasso people led by Samaro Kanti. In 1235, at the Battle of Karina, Sundiata's forces defeated Samaro, establishing the Mali Empire. Once he sat on the throne, Sundiata was the first ruler to be bestowed the title Mansa, which means sultan or ruler in the native Mandinka language. His reign was from 1235 to 1255. He saw Mali's expansion, economic growth, and cultural flourishing, leaving a lasting legacy in West African history. Just as a small seed grows into a strong and powerful tree, so do empires grow. The Great Mali Empire started as a small Mandinka kingdom at the upper Niger River centered around the Manding, a region located between southern Mali and southeastern Guinea. The Mandinka are a West African subgroup of people that make up a larger ethnic group of people called the Mande people. The Mandinka made up the majority of the people in the Mali Empire. Great wealth was amassed by the empire through the mining of major deposits of salt and gold dispersed throughout the kingdom. The empire's access to numerous trading routes combined with their almost endless supply of salt and gold easily made them the richest empire in Africa at the time. The empire's greatest son of the soil and the most famous ruler was Mansa Musa, the focus of our tale. Mansa Musa took the throne of the Mali Empire in 1312 CE. His ascendance to the throne came after his predecessor, Abu Bakr II, left the empire with a fleet of ships to sail across the Atlantic Ocean to find its edge. The great Mansa Abu Bakr II was never heard from again in the lands of Mali. In his ruler's absence, Musa assumed control of the empire and took it to new heights of glory never witnessed before. The great contrast of Mansa Musa's rule of great prosperity in comparison to his European counterparts who were struggling due to a lack of resources and civil wars that ravaged the lands. His rule was marked by a great expansion of his empire. Under his rule, the prosperous empire grew to span a sizable portion of West Africa, from the Atlantic coast to the inland trading hub of Timbuktu and parts of the Sahara Desert. The territories blossomed while Musa was on the throne, and so did the economic standing of its citizens. The great wealth of the kingdom came from the massive gold and salt deposits that were rivaled by none at that time. If this wealth were to be valued today by the market price of the commodities, it would easily make Mansa Musa the wealthiest man in the world. Mansa Musa's approach when it came to Arabic and Islamic matters was considered agreeable, and he was called a Muslim traditionalist by some. Musa made the announcement of his Grand Hajj, and this sent waves through the Muslim world. The Hajj is an annual Islamic pilgrimage to Mecca, Saudi Arabia, the holiest city in Islam. Musa's Hajj was a nearly 4,000-mile trek to Mecca. It took years of preparation for the expedition. This called for the organization of artisans in numerous towns and cities across the Mali Empire. In 1324 CE, Musa undertook his pilgrimage with an entourage of thousands of escorts. Mansa Musa also brought a considerable amount of gold, which was distributed along the journey. The procession of richly dressed servants and supporters of Musa crossed through many different boundaries and countries. While on his journey, Musa made many donations to the poor and to charitable organizations. He also gave gold to the other rulers of the lands he met while traveling through them. In an amazing tale of Musa's stay in Cairo, Egypt, it is said that Mansa gave out so much gold that he generated a brief drop in its value. Cairo's gold market took over a decade to recover from his visit. In an effort to improve and empower his nation on his return from Mecca, Mansa Musa brought Arab scholars, government bureaucrats, and architects. His epic pilgrimage massively increased Islamic education in Mali. He also enhanced the nation by building more mosques, libraries, and universities. Musa's endeavors were bringing more and more attention to him and his empire by other Islamic leaders, which brought increased commerce and scholars, poets, and artisans. Due to this influx, Timbuktu became one of the leading cities in the Islamic world. The number of books and manuscripts in the libraries of Timbuktu could rival any of those in the world at that time. The great Mansa Musa died in 1337 CE after a 25-year reign, and he was succeeded by his son, Magan I. As the sands of time pile up in the infinite time glass of life, the name of the great Mansa Musa stays above it and refuses to be forgotten. The great Musa will always be remembered through time as the richest man to ever live.